Every time I want to record something, someone's doing something outside. Every time. Like, how annoying is that? Hey guys, it's Ashlena. Welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about my top 10 albums of 2023. 2023 has been an amazing year for music, but not only music that came out this year, music that has come out in past years that I have found and fallen in love with. So I will do some honorable mentions of music that I have found this year that most likely came out years ago or, you know, at the end of last year, whatever the case may be. But I just want to kind of shed some light on those awesome albums as well. Okay. Now I have some vinyls here too. Okay. I don't want to show you them yet because I want you to be surprised. So I'm going to, be selfish here and let you know that I couldn't decide what my favorite album of 2023 was because it's a tie. I listened to these two albums equally as much. There wasn't one that I loved more than the other. I love this artist and I love this band so much, but I honestly can't decide. If I had to, I can't choose. Like I'm not forcing myself to choose. So I'm going to use the number 1 and 2 spot as a number 1 spot and then start with number 3, if that's okay with you guys. So my number 1 albums of 2023 start with my 21st Century Blues from Ray. The moment I heard this and reacted to it, I went out and bought the vinyl. This album is gold. It is absolute gold. My favorite song on the album is Black Mascara by far, but 5 Star Hotels is number 2. Oh man, Flip a Switch, number 3. And then like everything else kind of just slides into like the number 4 spot. Like I love Escapism. I love Oscar Winning Tears. I love Worth It. I love Ice Cream Man. Oh my God, Ice Cream Man. I love Mary Jane. I love every song on this album. I think the only song that I don't really listen to as much as the others is Environmental Anxiety. Not to say it's not a good song. It's just one that I'm just like, am I in the mood for that? No. Ray has kind of been just an artist that I never would have found probably if I didn't do this reaction channel, and I have never heard her before, and so I reacted to her 21st Century Blues album, and it was the first time I've ever heard of her, and I instantly was like, this album is insane. And if you want, you can go check out my reaction to it. It's so good. It's so good. But yeah, so glad I found her. I've listened to all of her other songs and albums, and this one just takes the cake. And I just want to remind you all that this is the first time she went independent. So this is an independent album, and it's just amazing. It went to the number 2 spot in the UK, which is crazy for an independent artist. So kudos to her. She also came out with her one night only symphony album of the exact same songs, and I'm still waiting for my vinyl to arrive, but I'm definitely not going to include that in my top 10 because I haven't heard it yet. I've only heard one song. I'm waiting for her to release all the videos from that show so I can react to them. But I'm sure it's fantastic. And then in my other number 1 spot is obviously Paramore. This is why. This album is so good. I love Paramore. I've always been a Paramore fan. I'm sure you guys know that. But I don't know, there was something about this album. When I first reacted to it, I was like, okay, it's okay. But then after listening to it, every song I'm obsessed with, and every song I started liking more and more and more. You First is my number 1 song off this album by far. And then I probably would go into This Is Why, then The News. I love Crave. I love Big Man, Little Dignity. I think my least favorite song is Say Comme Ça because it kind of gets annoying after a while, but I still listen to it and I jam out to it. So I love Paramore. I think Hayley Williams is one of the best female vocalists ever. I said it. Like, you guys saw my reaction to her singing All I Wanted at that festival. I will link it. I would kill to hear her sing that song live. I would kill. So this shouldn't be a surprise. Lana Del Rey, did you know there's a tunnel under Ocean Boulevard? I love Lana Del Rey. I've been a fan of hers since Born to Die. Then after Born to Die, I got into all her unreleased music, and Serial Killer is just a phenomenal song. So go check out Serial Killer if you haven't. It's not on any of her albums. I just think this album was so well done, and A&W was such a banger, and Taco Truck XVB is obviously the best song on this album, to me anyway. I had no idea what VB stood for when I first listened to this album, and it is now my most watched reaction on TikTok. And I think a lot of people were shocked when they first heard this song because they didn't realize what VB meant, and I'm not going to ruin it for you guys, but you can go watch my really short TikTok reaction, or you can check out my full album reaction to this. And I think Lana Del Rey is just... she's just amazing. I just love her so much. Okay, my fourth album of the year. How can we not include Tolo? Tolo, Dirt Femme. Oh, it's so good. Favorite songs? I think Grapefruit is my favorite song off this whole album because I listened to it the most. I love No One Dies From Love. I just love every song on this album. True Romance is so good. I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with Tolo. I don't know what I would do if I ever met her. I'd probably be like, your first album, Habits, was literally the soundtrack to my life when it came out, and I just can't. I'm just a forever fan because she got me through some tough shit. If you love dance music, pop music, and amazing vocals, go listen to Tolo, aka Tovalu. I'm sitting here editing this video, and I forgot to clarify that this album technically came out in 2022, but the extended version came out in 2023, as well as like the acoustic version, so that counts. You can fight me. This album was one of my most listened to albums this year, so fight me. Okay. We're on to number 5. This shouldn't shock you either. My 5th album of the year is Blink-182's One More Time. This album put me in my feels, guys. Like, it was so nostalgic. It got me laughing. It got me crying. It was just so good. I don't even know if I can pick a favorite song. I love Turpentine. I'm obsessed with that song. I listen to Terrified a lot. I listen to Anthem Part 3. I think Anthem Part 3 is just... I think it shocked everyone of how good it was because it's so hard to, like, do a part 2 and it be awesome and then do a part 3 and it be even better. I don't know. They killed this album. It's just so good. But yeah, if you want to go see me cry to an album, this is the reaction to watch. And I'm pretty sure it has like, I think 25 or 30,000 views now, which is insane. I never, ever, ever expected that. So my 6th album, which might be a little shocking to some of you, is Dave and Central C's EP called Split Decision. I was driving up to the cottage and I saw this was released and I was like, I'm going to check it out because I love Dave and I also like Central C. So like putting them together, I was like, this is going to be magical. I listened to those songs over and over and over the whole drive up to the cottage, which was about 2 hours. Like, I didn't listen to anything else. I was so obsessed with it, and I still am. I still love it. It actually came on at the restaurant I was in yesterday, and I was just like, oh my God. And it's just, it's a vibe. It's a jam. It's just such a good time. Obviously, UK rap is my favorite song. The lyrics are just so clever. She don't listen to UK rap if it ain't Dave or Cinch. She is 6, but a friend is a 4. A 3-way gonna make that 10. I can't deal with the lyrics. Like, I can't. It's so good. So if you like UK rap, go check out that EP. It's so good. All right, my next album, number 7, is The Used, Toxic Positivity. Now, if you don't know, I'm a big The Used fan, like huge. I have been to a zillion of their shows. I've loved every album they've ever come out with. My wedding first dance song was a Used song. So like it's a deep love and respect for this band. And obviously it's not my favorite album from The Used, but there are some bangers on here. So I think I'm just looking at the list. Yeah, Headspace. So Headspace, my favorite song off the album. It's so good. But don't get me wrong, there are tons of songs on this album that are great, and Bert's voice is just so good. So go check out The Used if you get a chance. Okay, so we're on 8. Yes, Stained. Confessions of the Fallen. I love Stained. I've been a Stained fan since the beginning of time. I saw Stained live once, and it was with Limp Bizkit and Korn, I believe, and I was just like melting over Aaron Lewis's voice, like melting. His voice just does something to me. It's so like beautiful and rough at the same time, and I'm really happy with this album, and I'm very proud of them. I think they got like #1 on the rock charts when it came out, which is like amazing. But I'm trying to think what song I loved the most. I loved In This Condition. Yeah, and Here and Now. I feel like it's always like the more ballad songs I get into, but top to bottom, that album is great, and I did do a reaction to it. I don't remember how I reacted to every song, but I know that I love every song now after listening to it over and over and over again. All right, let's talk about my 9th favorite album of 2023, Labyrinth. Now listen, I don't even think this album did very well on the charts. I'm not really sure. I don't pay attention to charts. I pay attention to what I like. Oh my God. Labyrinth's voice, his like R&B voice is so yummy. He put me in my feels in this album. And it's funny because the first song on the album is called The Feels, and like literally that's what this album should have been called. It's just gives you goosebumps from start to finish. Every song is so good. He has a song with Billie Eilish on this album, Never Felt So Alone. So he has a song which is The Feels with Zendaya. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name wrong. That song is just so beautiful. Like, she has a lovely voice as well. But yeah, check out Labyrinth if you love R&B, if you love a lot of bass, a lot of slow jams. That album I still listen to and love so much. All right. Now, I know you're going to be surprised because there are a lot of albums I haven't mentioned that came out this year, but remember, there are a lot of albums I haven't listened to yet. So this is just what I've been listening to. So my last album is an EP by a Canadian girl, and her name is Lay. And this EP, I just want everyone to go listen to it because not only does she have an amazing voice, her lyrics are so good, and her vibe and aesthetic is just on point, and I'm obsessed with her. I got to see her live in Toronto not too long ago. I'm pretty sure it was like an album launch party, which I've never been to, and there's a lot of like musical execs there, and I knew no one, but I had a great time. She killed her performances. It was absolutely amazing. I love the songs I Saw God, You're My Achilles Heel, Touching Myself. Oh my God, I'm going to name them all. They're all good. Unhappier, I can't. Everything is amazing. So go check out Lay, support some Canadian content. And an honorable mention, because I know the Melanie Martinez fans will come for me. Portals. This album came out this year. Listen, I love Melanie Martinez. I'm going to her concert next year, but I'm going to be honest. I don't listen to it as much as I used to when it first came out. Like, I listened to it a lot. I know a lot of the words to the songs. I think it's a great album, but now that it's December, I don't remember the last time I've listened to it, but I do want to give it an honorable mention because it was an album this year that I listened to a lot, just not an album I listen to much anymore. Okay, and now I want to just say a couple of albums that I've found this year that didn't come out this year, but I have found this year that I'm completely and utterly in love with, and like, are you guys shocked? Are you shocked? The Warning, this came out in 2022, okay? I'm a little late, but I was lucky enough this August to be introduced to The Warning from a patron, and I have fallen deep, deep, deep into the rabbit hole of this band, and I'm completely obsessed. This album, their Queen of the Murder Scene, oh my God, 21st Century Blood, like, this one has a special place in my heart just because the first song I heard ever from The Warning was Animosity, and so this album will always be my favorite The Warning album just because it's Animosity was the first song I ever heard from them, and now they're one of my favorite bands of all time. I can't wait for them to come out with a new album next year because let's be real, it's probably going to be in the #1 spot. Like, oh my God, it's so good. So if you haven't yet, go check out The Warning. Another honorable mention, Bad Omens, The Death of Peace of Mind. I just listened to it for the first time. It's been on my channel for what, a couple days, a week? I don't know. That album is amazing. Every song I love. I think like one song I skip, which is Who Are You, but the self-titled track, The Death of Peace of Mind, is insane. If you love great singers with heavy metal, good screaming, this band is for you. Oh my God, I'm obsessed. Let's talk about Greywind. Their album, Afterthoughts, came out 7 years ago, and I just came upon it recently, and I think it is one of the best albums that I've heard from an emo band in a very long time. And they're just the nicest people. They were nice enough to give me an exclusive reaction to their new song Antidote for the music video. They've sent me this beautiful Antidote poster. I've purchased merch. I've purchased their silk screen poster. I don't think this album will ever age. I think regardless when you find it, you will love it. And now 7 years later, it doesn't sound like it was made 7 years ago. It sounds like it just came out. Steph's voice, Paul's guitars. I can't. It's magical. So go listen to Greywind. You will not be disappointed. And if you are, there's something wrong with you. Okay. All right. The last thing I want to mention, Aurora. I found Aurora this year. Okay. I know you guys all know I'm a big Aurora fan. Every Tuesday, there's Aurora content on this channel because of how deep I fell in love with this girl. Her music inspires me. It makes me calm. It just brings me joy. And I can't say a lot of music and specific artists do that for me. But for some reason, even if I've never heard the song before, I'm at peace, and I don't know what it is. So every album or song that I have reacted to or listened to on my own time deserves an honorable mention this year, because Aurora is just fantastic, and I understand she may be a little different taste of what you guys might listen to if you're not an Aurora fan, but I just ask, just listen to her voice and listen to her words, and maybe, just maybe, it will bring you some peace too. Guys, that's it. 2023 is over. I know there are a lot of albums that came out this year that I probably haven't even heard. Maybe I didn't like. Like, would I give Miley Cyrus's album an honorable mention? Not really. I don't listen to it. Flowers was great. A lot of the songs of that album were great, but they're definitely not top 10. If I was doing a top 20, it would totally be in there for sure. But you guys get what I'm saying. If I missed an album that came out this year, we're not talking about Nicki Minaj, because that literally just came out and I don't have time to do a full album reaction to that. Anything else, let me know. And yes, there are albums I obviously omitted on purpose because I just didn't like them. And that's what a top 10 list is about, right? I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. I am so excited for 2024. Like, I am stoked. I'm releasing this video. I don't know when I'm going to release this video. I feel like this would be a nice little December 31st video. So I'm going to try to get this up for December 31st. My patrons will get it December 13th. So this is definitely well in advance, but I just want to thank you guys so much for your support, for every subscriber, for every patron, for every super thanks I've gotten, for every comment, for every like. Just I'm in awe of the amount of people who have reached out to me who love my channel, and I just hit 12,000, which is amazing, and I'm just so excited to keep reacting and keep posting on Instagram, on TikTok, on YouTube, and I hope you guys stick around, and I wish you the best holiday ever and a very, very happy new year, and all the best to you and your families, and I'll see you in my next video.